Good morning, everybody. Just doing a quick little update from the weekend review. I was running over on time on the weekend review, so I cut it short. But one of the things that I talked about that I was a little concerned, especially in the room on Friday, is I really didn't believe this pop on Friday was sustainable. And I just sat on my hands all day Friday after the rally just to see what was going to happen, because generally a lot of these Fed meetings we get a reaction one direction and then it goes the other way. So as we know, we rallied on Friday, really all the way up until this untested daily, and we're basically have smacked all the way down into this 4-hour zone that we talked about in the weekend review. That was also the previous weekly value area high. That was the significant above below area. Obviously, the path of least resistance is up. We still have the ETH all-time high. I just want to err on the side of caution. If we push below this area here, we will more than likely come down and fill these singles up, which brings us down into our key area to get long down here in the 64.31 to 27 area, as well as the 13 spot, which would be a little bit deeper poke in. But one of the things that I have talked about for years, and I was all over this a long time ago, and you can see this from a lot of my older YouTube videos from last year, is that Bitcoin's looking angry. And Bitcoin is, in my opinion, it used to be a tick for tick. Me and Piper did a video on this about a year or two ago. It was a tick for tick with the indices, literally. Now Bitcoin is pretty much the lead. If Bitcoin is showing weakness, I look for the indices to do the same, especially on the weekend. And it's looking pretty angry today. So we're actually down 2% this morning, and there is a nice weekly daily level right in here around 109.50 that very well could provide a lot of support. I was actually looking at this area to play on this pullback if we didn't play this area before making new all-time highs. I guess what I'm saying is there is support right here, guys. I'm just simply saying that Bitcoin's looking soft, and that generally means weakness for risk assets in general. Bitcoin can pull all the way down into 102. If 109 doesn't play, we also have 105.6. I don't want to get too involved with Bitcoin because that's not why I'm here. I'm simply just saying that Bitcoin is the lead for me most of the time. I talk about it all the time in the room. And I didn't think this pop was sustainable on Friday. And so here we are again. And, obviously we still have all-time highs up here. We're holding support. I'm not saying we're not going to hold this. All I'm saying is that we had a significant pop on Friday. We never lost on the daily time frame, okay? But we sure as shit didn't gain, okay? And so that concerns me. They had all that fuel, all that momentum, and they came up here and they rejected off of this daily. So if we do pull back into this area, I am still looking to buy these clean up on the single prints, especially this 25, 27 area, and really 12 as well. But I'm just exercising caution, especially when it comes time to size appropriately. I'm just not sure. I have to be honest. I'm just not sure. It's easy to get caught off sides when these things happen. And we don't have any red tag news today. So, we talked about this over the weekend, that if we end up pushing below this 12, be very, very cautious. Yes, we do have untested areas down here, but a push below 12 would be pretty bad. So, again, just to kind of recap this morning for everybody so that I won't get too much into depth here because this is a Monday morning. But we either hold this 59.62 area and come back up, and then we potentially make a new all-time high once we can get above the 65.0375 4-hour, or we come back down, we push below the 59 or 54, which would have been my stop, and we come back in here and we clean up these singles, and we play this daily, weekly 4-hour area around 64.31.75 through 64.27. That is a possibility. And again, the lower end of this range is 64.12, 64.13. If they get below this, guys, there are untested levels at 63.92 and 63.81, and there is that massive weekly absorption down there. But again, something just feels weird about this. I didn't believe it on Friday, and I'm not sure I believe it now. That doesn't mean that this area won't get a reaction, because it probably will. It more than likely will. I just don't know if it's going to take it all the way back up. It might. I'm just telling you to exercise caution. I just have this weird feeling, and I could be totally wrong. But using Bitcoin as a lead has me a little sketchy. And again, like I said, Bitcoin's coming down into support soon, so maybe that's just a sign that it's going to go right back up. One of the things that we talked about was also VIX. VIX made a new low. We popped back up well above the weekly that I told you I was watching. So now we're above this huge above below weekly on VIX at 1485. Obviously has my antennas up, and we're above the 4 hour too. So look at that. We've actually back tested this and we're holding this. So just be careful. Something doesn't smell right for whatever reason. It wouldn't surprise me to see a lot of this get retraced in the ES. And so just stay cautious and stay safe. See you guys.